What's up, guys? Becca Means here with the Fosters, Season 4, episode 13, Cruel and Unusual. This episode starts off with Stef, with us seeing a Stef that you do not want to see. Her pretty mad at Burn, and she's like, "Does your father know?" And he's like, "No." And she basically just walks up, takes some nails and a screwdriver, and starts takes a hammer and some screws, and starts banging down the door, taking down the doors of her. He's like, what's going on? And Seth's like, "What's going on? You're getting high. You're stealing Jesus. Mariana's getting, Jude's getting high. Mariana's stealing Jesus' pill, and Brandon cheated on the SATs. That means he's unwelcome at Juilliard. There's too many secrets going on in this house, and the doors are coming off." And yeah, so she's like, "This is cruel and unusual punishment." And she's like, "What does Leah know about this?" And stuff like, "I don't need Leah's permission." And she's like, I'm gonna tell her." And she's like, "Go right ahead." And she's like, "What about Jesus?" And she's like, "Only no, Jesus isn't ready for visitors." And she's like, "When can they see Callie?" And because Jesus is awake now, but they're like, "When can they see Callie?" And they're like, "Callie isn't ready for family right now, Jude." And yeah. And he's like, "When can we get our doors back? When we can trust you again?" But Steph doesn't have time, so she leads the mob and she's like, take every door down except for. And he's like, "What about yours?" And they're like, "No, not there." So yeah, so Steph goes downstairs to discover Robert, who discovered Callie's and Julie because Mariana told Sophia, who told Robert, and now Robert's here. So basically, yeah. So even though Sophia's not on the show anymore, she's getting a mention. Yeah. So yeah. So so Robert's pretty mad. He's like, "This is the second time Callie's been in Julie since she's been with you." And she's like, "I can bring one of my lawyers in to help her." And Steph's like, "No, we don't want your lawyer. We don't want your lawyer, just your hotshot lawyer, coming in and making everyone mad." So yeah. So Brandon last episode discovered that Mariana gave Emma give Mariana the pregnancy test. So Brandon, not asking Mariana, Emma goes to Matt and says, "Hey, is there a chance Mariana's pregnant?" And she's like, "Yeah." So because Mariana and Matt got back together, slept together last episode. Forgot to mention it, but I just felt like it was just a one-time thing they slept together. But yeah, so Matt basically confronts Mariana, and basically, uh, at the end of the episode, but yeah. So since so Callie's and Julie, and there's this guy named Joey, the guard, who's pretty hitting on her, and there's this other Julie girl who basically is like, "Hey, Joey, he's mine. You better back off." And one of the girls is like, "Hey, she's really a fool if she thinks if he's into her, that he's into her. She's a fool if she thinks she's into her. He's even dating her. He's going to parties and getting the other girl drugs." And so yeah, so one of the girls is vomiting and her face turning blue. So Callie does the right thing and goes to one of the people, but Joey, the guard, he isn't happy about that. He's like, hey, the girl was just vomiting, and she's like, she wasn't just throwing up. Her face was turning blue. And he's like, "Thanks to you, everyone knows there's drugs in the jail." And yeah, and she's like, "It won't happen again." And he's like, "It won't." And basically just throws Callie's bucket of water through glass, making, and he's like, "Imminent infraction." Callie hit him. Callie attacked him, and the person like up against the wall now, and puts Callie in in solitary confinement. Meaning another day in Juvie where Callie's day just turns to crap. Basically, it's just that every time Callie's in Juvie, she just cannot get a break. Juvie number one gets hit in the face by Daphne. Juvie number two gets accused and gets thrown in solitary confinement. Cal just can't catch a break in these juvies. I'm not kind of saying them to in juvie because nothing happened bad there. But anyway, yeah. Sorry. So Noah gives Jude a poem because he thinks that Lena is going to be in that day. But he gives Jude a poem, which Lena breaks in Jude's locker, reads it, and it's a very bad poem, but it's about strength, hope, and strengths. But yeah, so Steph and Lena are like, so Lena's like, whoa, before you go in there, we better rethink about this. First, Callie's in juvie, Jesus is coming home anytime soon. Maybe we should rethink about Jude hanging out with Noah, not hanging out with Noah, because he's already lost Connor and Jack already. Do you want another do you want someone, do you want someone else? Do you want Jude to lose someone else in his life? So basically, they're like, Jude, you can hang out with Noah, but no pot. And Jude's like, okay, but they're like, really, Jude, we're serious. If you do pot again, this will be a short-lived reunion. Jude's like, okay. And they're like, go call him. So yeah. So let's see how this lasts. I hope Jude can stay off the pot game because he's already becoming a bit of a not nice character rather than his season 1, 2, and 3 appearances where he was one of my favorites. But season 4 Jude, I don't like him. But anyway, yeah. So Matt basically confronts Mariana about what Matt told him, and he's like, hey, did you sleep with Nick? And she's like, no, I didn't sleep with Nick. Who told you that? It's like something Brandon said. And he's like, what did Brandon say? Did Brandon say that she slept with Nick? And he's like, how does he know? And Matt just says, how does he know that he can trust her again? How does he know he can trust her again after the ADHD pill? And she's like, we just slept together. And he's like, that was a mistake. And we just got back together. You slept with me, and now you're gonna break. We got back together. That was a mistake, Matt says. And he's like, we slept together. I think he says that's a mistake. And she's like, we slept together, and now you're gonna break up with her. So yeah, and Mariana basically confronts Matt, and she's like, what'd you tell Matt? And he's like, did you tell him I slept with Nick? And he's like, oh, I told him you could be pregnant. And she's like, pregnant? And she's like, I saw Emma giving you a bag. She was just giving her tampon. And she was like, thanks, Brandon. Thanks a lot. Now Matt just broke up with her. So basically, yeah. That's why you should go ask the person you saw. That's why I feel like Brandon should have asked Emma, not asked Matt. Because if he asked Emma could have explained. He just went and asked Matt because. So yeah. Anyway. So yeah. So yeah. So Callie gets like a message, a letter from AJ, because Robert gave, and he's like, you're really trying to, Callie, are you really trying to track down a killer? And she's like, it's Reform trying to track down a killer, to track down a killer, it's for her foster brother. And he's like, you really need to focus on your senior year. Robert says this, and he's like, you need to be like a normal person. She's like, she's not a normal person. And yeah, so anyway, so AJ is informed by a kid night. Mike asks Anna if she can move in with him, but he doesn't realize is that since he's fostering AJ and Anna's a criminal, he cannot foster both. He cannot move in. So he's like, hey, even though this is a bad time with Callie, I want to adopt you, AJ. Yeah, anyway. I don't know what to say. He's like, just give him some time. He'll just give him some time. So yeah, so at the end of the episode, Mariana goes confront Matt, and she's like, "I'm sorry, Mariana, about Matt," and she's like, "It's not your fault," and she's like, is it? And she's like, "Is Emma pregnant?" And he's like, "I think so." So yeah, so yeah, so Jesus is back home. Jude kind of makes a not cool remark, but anyway, yeah. So he gives Jude his Jude gives his Zeus some water and basically and they buy some pizza, but he's just like, no, I don't want it, and they're like, pepperoni is your favorite, and he's like, I don't want it, and I was like, just take it away from you guys, and they're like, it's a cheese pizza, there you go, and he's just like, I don't want it, I told you, and smashes it on the floor. Yeah, I should, yeah. Anyway, so Callie seems to be home now, but they did get, so Robert, now let's talk about the court stuff. So Robert was like, hey, I should have never allowed you to have custody. I made a mistake. You were on the parents, Evelina. I should have never gave you custody. Yeah, and 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 Callie and Rob. So Callie, it's just like a Robert and Stephanie a fight thing, because Stephanie are like, hey, you should take the deal, but Robert's like, I disagree. I you shouldn't take the deal. But Robert's like, I disagree. But Callie's like, I just can't fight anymore. I just can't be in juvie anymore. So yeah. So but anyway, the judge is like, Callie, even though you're doing well at home and doing well at school, you still have some risks. So we're gonna send you to adult court. But Callie still gets to be at home with the family, gets to be in a bedroom. AJ, yeah, yeah. But I still thought this episode was really good. It was still a good episode. But yeah, it was a good episode. But next time I'll be reviewing a new series called Cruel Summer, which I know it's a very dark show, but I will not stop it from reviewing my foster videos. But anyway, yeah, so like, comment, subscribe. I hope you guys have a fun. I'll see you on the Fosters or tomorrow for Cruel Summer. See you guys.